Right. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, 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 everyone. Yes, welcome. So good to see us again tonight. Yes, welcome, 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 welcome. Good afternoon, good evening. Depending on where you are listening from, right? I want to believe we have had a wonderful day. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so some persons have cultivated the habit of good evening from so place. All right, that's interesting. Let's go straight because of our time tonight. I need one or two persons to just remind us where we stopped the last class we had and then what we promise to start with today. Oh, good evening, Busola Ulunuga. Good evening, Bolanle. My day went well, or it's going well. Kolaole Olufemi, good evening. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Agba Pandan Toby. Okay, you can come and have it. All right. All right. So we stopped at the trimming and cleaning of data. Um, I've seen some funny comment. Wow. All right. Okay, so we plan to continue with merge and append today. Yes, which is also at ETL. And that is where we said we're going to start today's section from, all right, which is also part of ETL, right? I believe. Right. So now, just before I continue tonight, difference between SEO in digital marketing and algorithm in TikTok. I don't understand. Beraka, are you supposed to be in this class? All right, so we are to start with appending and merging of columns, and then we will also look at grouping, yes, data grouping. Then we will also look at relationship, that is modeling. When we talk about modeling, then we'll also look at a few things, and then let's see how far we can travel, maybe DAX functions. And then next week, of course, we enter fully into the DAX function and then bit of visualization before we call it a wrap. By now, you should expect your project document any moment from now, and it will be shared with us. Then also, um, I'm sure you guys are aware that this weekend we're going to be having our quiz for Tech Mastery series. Quiz for Text Mastery series will be holding this weekend. From tomorrow till Sunday, we'll be having our Test Mastery series quiz. So please, you might want to prepare yourself for this session. You can watch your playlist and then refresh your memory before you take the exam or the test as it were. Because week 9 we're going to be having your final exam. Yes, test mastery series will be holding from tomorrow. So please, I am sure by now quite a number of people who also had LMS issue have been attended to, and I know quite a number of people who should have gotten their invitation. So if you are in that category, please ensure you check your ensure you check your emails to be sure you are not missing out on important information. And Beraka Ventures, are you supposed to be in this class? Because all this you are putting up here is not supposed to be for this class. So please, I've not been onboarded on the elements. How do I access the test for this week? Emmanuel Ima here. Please, you can be sure you can check if you have not been invited, because I know quite a number of invitations are still going out as we speak. Yes. So if you have not gotten it today, you should get it tomorrow. Particularly if you fill the form for reconciliation on the LMS. So you should get it. All right. So the quiz, yes, is the quiz based on all the tech mastery? Yes, the quiz is based on all the tech mastery series. We have had about three of them. So majorly your quiz will be from maybe two of them. Let me give you, particularly because you are my privileged participant or student now. Yes. So from the generative AI class and the last one we just had, which is breaking into tech. So please, you might want to watch those two sections. Of course, maybe one or two from building portfolio as well. And then you might want to now take your quiz. What is Tech Mastery quiz? All right, Christian Okafor, I perceive you are just probably joining this call and then you are not a member of this class because if you are, you will know what Tech Mastery series quiz is. Okay, so let's move on. Let me share my screen very quickly and then we'll dive into what we have to do today. All right, so I believe you should be able to see my screen now. Can you confirm at the comment section if you can see my screen now? All right. So I believe you should be able to see my screen now. So let's continue. So from where we stopped last night, we've been able to do a few things. We've been able to check. We've been able to clean some data. We've been able to look at trimming, cleaning of data, then case change. We have also been able to do renaming and of columns and all of that. We have also been able to split columns, right? And then we also try, which I expect by now that you would have done, how to concatenate columns back, right? Using ampersand. Then we have also done something on removing of rows and columns. We have done something on how to replace values. We have also talked about changing of data types, unpivoting of columns, rearranging of columns, creating of custom columns, right? Creating then what we want to do tonight is appending of queries, merging of queries, and then grouping of data. So we're going to be looking at that at the same time. Okay. So please advise me on what to do. Ever since I installed Power BI on my system, it has been lagging. Please help me out. All right, Vivian Onche. I perceive your system is lagging because of what configuration your system is. So you might want to probably upgrade the system, right? Else, you probably just have to manage it that way. But if you want to get the best result from the system, you might want to upgrade the system so that you can have the best from the system. All right. So now let's go. Let me open the document we had yesterday. So this is my class document. So for those that said how would they open their this by now, I believe you should know what to do and how to go about it. All right. So now for our appending and merging of column, I will want us to let's look at one of the data we used yesterday, the folder I shared with you. So everyone go get your data now. Go get your data. I don't even know whether the data is Excel or workbook. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Append queries. Okay, so it's not Excel. So that means it's CSV. It's CSV. All right. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, TS text.csv. Titilayo, I said, all right, I know we didn't talk about it, but I said I asked us to go and check it, right? So that was what I said yesterday. All right, so under the append folder, we have three CSV files, that is Lead, Liverpool, and Manchester. So one after the other, can we load these three data on our data set? Now, because of the consistency of the data that I am familiar with already, we might not need to transform the data at any level because we know the data is actually fine. So let's just load. Let's load this. So go again, pick the second one. The name of the file on that what's it called, on that folder module. So look for the append folder. So under the, that's number 10. I have three files inside the append file. That is Lead, Liverpool, and Manchester. So I need you to load the three files in your BI environment. Michael, additional, you could not access the LMS again because you changed your phone. That should not be an issue. You change your phone does not stop you from accessing the LMS. Just remember your credentials. If you cannot remember your credentials, just put your forget password and then you should be able to remember or to get your access back. That's all you need to do. So let me bring the last table. That's Manchester now. So the creating of portfolio was into my section we had recently, and the first one was with Mr. and Iyanu and the lady at the very beginning. Yes, that was the Tech Mastery series, not my session. My session is peculiar to data analysis, but the one Iyanu and Esther did was for Tech Mastery series. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Victor Adesoye, data loaded. Okay. I was able to combine the first and last name using ampersand, but I wasn't able to space the name. Kindly assist. All right, fantastic. That's a good trial. For Akin, oh, all you need to do is immediately after you first name, all right, before once you had your ampersand, the first name, ampersand, then put two, what's it called now? What do you call this now? Is it apostrophe now? Double quote, that double quote put two double quote and let there be space in between the two double quotes, then another ampersand, then put the second name or the last name and then load it. It will work. Do you get that? So yes, Odutola Odutogun, that's what you need to do. Just that's the symbol. So just put that and then it will work. It will space your work for you. To speak it. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Akin. All right, now let's go. If you look at my data pane now, so I now have Leeds, Liverpool, and Manchester. Now, listen carefully. You know, we are still working with ETL, right? Three files loaded. Thank you, guys. How many of us have been able to load that? Next time I should add Chelsea. Okay, we know people like you. All right. So I believe quite a number of us have been able to add that already, right? So let's go. So let's get back to our transform data. Since we want to work with the data, right? Let's go back to transform the data. All right. Refresh. Let me refresh my data. I said it's been old for 7 days, although it's not true. Now, listen carefully. When we are talking about appending, yesterday I was trying to explain the concept of appending and merging. and then what is the similarities between them, then also grouping. Now let me explain. You remember when you are working in Excel, there is a concept where you have to do VLOOKUP. How many of us remember VLOOKUP? How many of us remember VLOOKUP? Does anybody remember VLOOKUP in this class? Great. Yes. So VLOOKUP is just the same thing as merging. Now, it will you okay, forgotten. So, but then you will realize that when you are trying to do VLOOKUP, you have to call the function. If you miss any step out of the function, you will not be able to arrive at your answer. But here in PI, all you just need to do is a few clicks and then you'll be fine. Just a few clicks and then you'll be fine. All right. Also, appending. Now, appending, what appending does is this. When you need to add to, maybe you have some rows. For instance, now, anytime you are appending data, your table, if you are appending 2 to 3 tables, the 2 or 3 tables must have the same type of headers. For instance, if you have a 4-column table, when you are appending tables, you cannot append a 4 by 5 table. So that means all the table must have the same headings. For instance, now let's look at these leads now. Under leads here, I have name, date claim, amount, and then category. This is 4, right? Amount, since this is amount, I like to change up my money value to currency. Yes, replace current. All right. So now, since this one is having name, date claimed, amount, and category, let's see what we have in Liverpool. So Liverpool have name, description. Are we together? Description, date, amount. So this one has also 4. Now, looking at this, does it look like we have something that look alike? Description here in leads. Description here is category. Did you see what I have there? So it's just a table renaming. Now, date claimed here is also the same thing as what? Date here. So the two things we just need to adjust here is description. So let's rename this description and put it as what? Category. All right. Are we together? So I have name, category, date, and amount. So let's go to leads. What do we have? We have name, amount, category, and date claim. So let's rename this date claim also to what? Date alone. All right. Let's leave it at just date. Now, irrespective of the positioning, either is in the first row, second row, third row, or in different order. The most important thing is now I have 4 columns in my first table, 4 columns also in my second table. Now in Manchester, let's look at what we have in Manchester. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here in Manchester, I have 5. So what do? I will observe the table. Then I will look at the one that seemingly might not be necessarily needed, and then I'll take it out. Does that make sense? All right. So I'll take it out. So I'll look at the table, one on the table, the column that does not look like. So if anybody will advise me here, look at this claimed by. What do I have as claimed by? Can anybody tell me what claimed by means? Looking at the data that is in it, claimed by can mean what or can mean what? From the previous data that we have had, Claim by can be replaced with what? Thank you, Oluwaseyi, thank you. Name. So just rename and then let's give it name, right? So date claimed and date paid. Now, looking at the two dates that we have here, it is date. And initially, there was one date that we have as date claimed that we renamed to just date, right? So that means date claimed is what we need. We do not need date paid. Does that make sense? So we can take date paid out because what we're actually looking at is comparison of the date that the what's it called, the transaction was done and the category for the transaction. So we are not necessarily concerned about the date that payment was made. So then what are we going to do to this as well? Rename, and then we now have just date. All right, are we together now? Mine downloaded separately on the system. How can I get it together on Power BI? Yes, you have to take it into Power BI one after the other. The one after the other. Especially, you have to upload them, get data. Once you get data, you get data for leads. Once you have loaded it, you go again, get data for Manchester. Once you load it, you go again, you get data for Liverpool. So you bring the three one after the other. Now, what I have is I have the three here, and it's because I brought them in one after the other. Does that make sense now? All right. Now that we have done the little cleaning that we should do, and I have a one, two, three, four, and I have four here in Leeds under Liverpool as well. I have one, two, three, four as well. Then under Manchester, I have one, two, three. This amount I've not changed my data type since it's money. One, two, three, and four. So now the name of the file we uploaded is append folder 10 in the module folder. All right. So now you see that I have done the basic cleaning that I should do for all my data now. Now, what I want to do is I want to begin the process of appending. Again, I want to say to you, when you are appending your data, what you want to see is, or what you want to do is, you want to bring together similar data from different tables to make just one table. Similar table from different table to make just one table. Now, if you look at this leads, if you look at the total number of rows we have in Leeds, we have 525. In Liverpool, we have 548. And then in Manchester, we have a 727. So I need someone to help me put together the sum of these three tables, and let's have it somewhere at the back of our hand. What is the sum of these three tables? If we had to bring them together, what should we have? All right, somebody help me. Somebody help me. Will there be duplicate if we append tables? So if your tables contains duplicate, it will be duplicated definitely. Yes, you need to change the data type for the amount in other tables too. Yes, I did that for all my tables because amount is actually speaking to what? To money. So I had to give it a fixed decimal. You know, I told you, thank you, Oluwaseyi Lajorin, 1,800. So let's keep that value for now. So we're going to check, we're going to confirm if after our pending of tables, we still have this 1,008, then what we have done is absolutely correct. All right, let's go. Now, when you want to append, there are two ways by which you can append. All right, there are two ways. Under your combine on home, under home menus now, under your home menus, when you come to combine here, you see merge queries and append queries. Can you see merge queries and append queries, right? So now, what merge queries and append query will do for you is this. Append query, once you click append query, you will see a drop down in front of it. You want to see append queries, then append query as new. Now, if you say append query, the first one, what it will do for you is on that particular table you are working on that particular table you are working on, it will append the query to that table. But if you say append query as new, it will create a new table entirely and it will bring all your three tables together, which is best for what we need now. So that in case we want to check anything, we must be sure nothing is missing. My Canvas elements is showing access denied. Please, what do I do? All right, go to your dashboard. If you click on your dashboard and you still see that you are not seeing anything again, all right, you might probably delete or remove yourself from the course and then request for a resend of the invitation. So it could be your browser that is maybe obsolete or something that is giving you that issue. So if the link is reshared with you or resent to you, you'll be able to onboard yourself. Yes, so Femi has had you already, please. So please, you might need to just change your browser. And if afterwards you still have the same thing, you can request for the course remover and then a relink will be sent to you. All right. So now, like I said, let's append this query as what? As new. So if I pick append query as new, you will see what I have here. Now a dialog box is popping up and is asking me concatenate rows from two tables into a single table. That is what appending means. That is joining. Now listen again. This is one of the questions you will actually see in your professional exam. For those that will write it at the later time, this is one of the, you can't escape this. This is one of the questions you will see. Definitely, you can't escape it. So where they will ask you that when you join two tables having the same column headings together, what operation are you trying to achieve? And then they will ask you, is it appending or is it merging? Then you can also ask that when you try to extract a particular column from one table to join another table, what exactly are you trying to do? That is merging. Okay. So usually, let me also give you a shortcut. When you are working with appending increase the number of rows to your table. Appending increase the number of rows, while merging increase the number of columns to your table. Does that make sense? Appending increase the number of rows to your table, and merging increase the number of columns to your table. So if you're having the same issue with access denied, right, what I need you to do, please, Femi has already responded to you. Check with another browser. Be sure your browsers are not obsolete or out of date, and then try it again. All right, Victor Adesoye, AR, appending row, merging column, MC. Thank you. If that works for you, if you know, you know. All right. So, so I was saying something before I saw ARMC now, and that's about the LMS invitation, right? You know, till I speak now, we still have quite thousands of people who have not responded to that LMS, and yet we have some people who are saying they have not gotten link. Like thousands of people who have not responded, and we have people who are saying they are not getting. So where are the people who have not responded that we have added already? So we also need to be sure of that. Please come again on open query and end new. What do you mean by open query and end new? Okay, let me assume I understand what you're saying. Now I want to go and append my column. I can pick any of these three, then I come to my what? Combine. Then since it's append I want to do, I append. Then I have two options here, append queries. So if I'm appending queries, it means I want to append the table on the same table. But if I pick append query as new, it will create a new table entirely, and then it will ask me for what and how I want to do it. All right. So let's see. It said two tables, but then I have more than two tables, right? I have more than two tables. So let me pick three or more tables. So that means you can actually append as many tables as you want, provided the conditions are met. Now look at what I have now. I have quite a number of tables here. So which of the tables am I appending. So since I began with Liverpool, it has already added Liverpool. So let me pick Leeds. Then I will add it. Then I'll pick what? Manchester. And then I add it. So now I have added the 3. I have added the 3. And now that I have added the 3, what I just need to do is to click OK. Let's see what happens. Now, here now, I have append 1. You have append 1. So now that you have append 1, you can just right click this and rename. So what do you need to rename it with? Is what? Club sites. All right. Let's just leave it at that. Don't mind me. Club sites. All right. So then I click OK. Then I have my new table as club sites. Now somebody help me check by column profiling the total number of rows that we have. It's saying that we have 4 columns, but 999 plus rows. But you know, if you want to check the total number, you can just come here and then click column profiling based on the entire data set. If you say click by the entire data set, you will have the total number of rows. All right. So now that you have it here, go to your view and then come to your column profile. And then what did you see here? What can you see? Can somebody see what I have here? Can someone see what do I have here? It is 1,800. Yours is saying 5 columns. It's because you did not remove a particular column. There's a column you missed out. There's a step you missed out. Yes, 1,800. So that means our calculation is correct based on what someone gave us the other time. Just like creative view, exactly, in SQL, exactly. So you are doing a part of SQL actually, but here we're just doing it with a few clicks. And then this is all about appending of data. Now, before we go to merging of data, there's one other concept I want to show you. There's another concept I want to show you, and that is grouping of data. Now, I will show us that grouping of data, and then I will ask a question afterwards. So I want to know who and who is really following all the way since this training has started. Now, when you look at this category, of data that we have here, this category of data is showing accommodation, vehicle fuel, office equipment, computer department, accommodation, online expenses. So there is a tendency that some of these categories are repeated here. So if, for instance, now I want to probably do a count of how many vehicle maintenance do we have, or what is the total sales or total amount for all the vehicle sales. Can somebody understand what I just said? Now, I want to get the total amount for vehicle sales. How can I do it? Since I know that my category here has a repetitive pattern, right? What I will just do is simple. What I will do is I will just go to my data and do a group by. That is grouping. So I will group it. Can you see when you come back to home? Can you see this group by? Can you see this concept of group by? Where exactly do you want me to recap? Olusoji Omobolanle. Filter by vehicle sales, okay? You can filter when you get to your visuals. I've not even gotten to visuals. I am saying here are the transform state. You can actually categorize or group your data to see what exactly you want to see. So let's add it. So one way by which, anytime you are also doing group by, what are you trying to do? And I think I remember ID was telling us something like that in the course of our Excel class, that the essence of creating visuals or analysis like this is to do something to your data. Can somebody remember that thing? There's just one word, just one word, just one word. Can somebody remember what that word is? No, it's not append. Computation, no, it's not computation. Although he ends with a Sean too. Yes, yes, yes. Analyze. Summarize. Thank you. Kehinde Ope one ice cream for you, sir. That is if you are a man. So that's the first person I saw. Of course, I did it to Iro Dion, also says summarize data. Okay, Alajide says simplify, right? Jessica says summarize. So that's summarization. Exactly. That is what it means actually to summarize. So we want to summarize this 1008 data table to the BRS minimum by using the category. So how do we achieve that? Again, click on the column you want to work with, which is your what? Your category. Then come to group by. Are you paying attention now? So when you come to group by, it will open a dialog box, and then you must understand the simple and the basic thing you need to do to achieve that group by. Now, specify the column to group by and the desired output. What is our desired output? Our output is that we want to see the total amount for all the categories in the club site. Is that correct? So that's what we want to see, the total amount for all the category in the club site. Now, what would be the new column name? The new column name will be what? Total amount, right? Now, the operation is what? I said we want to get the sum, right? The total amount. The total amount is sum. So let's read it as sum. If it is what's it called now? Average, mean, max, you also want to get. So depending on what summarization values you want to see, all right? So that is what you will also call. So the column you want to use for that summarization, which is what? The amount column. Then just click OK and let's see what happens. Now, can you see what I have here? Guys, can you see what I have here? So what I have here, from 1,800 data table has turned to how many now? Has turned to 17 rows and 2 columns. Now, this is what we call data, what do we call it now? Maximizing your data performance. Maximizing your data performance. All right? Maximizing your data performance. Okay? So that is maximizing your data performance. All right? Um, okay. I will do that shortly. Maybe I will just do it to explain the concept to us. I just remembered something now. So now let's make this also look like money, just the way we have made the others look like it. Can you see what we have now? This is beautiful. Thank you, Manuel. You understand? It makes sense, a lot of sense. So everything has now be what? Be summarized. And now I need a name that you call this while you are working in Excel. I want somebody to also tell me. You know, while you are working in Excel, there is something you do that you arrive at something like this. Can somebody tell me the name of that particular thing? This has a name when you are working in Excel. Can somebody tell me what name this is? Confirm. Kehinde Okpesheyitan. Pivot. Pivot. Exactly. Did you see how to achieve pivot in Power BI? You know, let me tell you something. What you guys are actually getting for free, this is what people pay quite a lot of money to achieve. And I mean, you pay like dearly just so you can achieve. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you don't want to trivialize with the level of information and knowledge you are getting from this class, both from your Excel to your SQL and to your BI, right? Please, you don't want to trivialize with any of these classes. As a matter of fact, let me also remind you the classes are always available. Now we have made it in a playlist. So you can just go to the playlist, pick it one after the other. Don't just do it because of exam. Exam is one of the reasons why you should, right? But then after the entire training, go back, rewatch, watch, look at the content. Take it one after the other. Practice them. Yes, thank you. Abiodun Esther Oyeleye. Yes, thank you, Daddy Gio. Yes, oh, thanks, Daddy Gio. This is a very big opportunity. And once again, I congratulate you guys. Yes, because personally, I in my little years of experience, I know what it takes to take this kind of training, to deliver this kind of training to people, and then I ask you, if you are coming to my DM and say you want to learn, I know how much I'm going to charge you. I mean, one person for this kind of thing. Then you guys are seeing it on the platter of gold. God bless Redeemed Church. Yes, yes. So please maximize this opportunity. Thank you. Let's move on. Now that we have done this, and then we have also been able to summarize our table. Summarize our table. Are you willing to pay Gani Ukodri if I tell you Olusoji, something is wrong with your data if you have 2 columns and 16 rows. So that means there is a part of your data you have missed out. There's a part of your data you have missed out. So you might want to take it again and then check it. Yes, sir, the playlist is really helpful. Yeah, thank you, Emanuela Amina. Thank you. So we have ensured that the playlist is available so that you can easily track your progress and the particular course you wanted to hear, to watch. Thank you. I like that some of us are saying thank you to that Geo. Thank you. You can keep saying it. See, go on the social media. You are not saying anything wrong. You are doing the best. Yes, tell the story to the world that the Geo did something that you know is big. All right. When you are saying it, tell us also in the story the incubator hub who has taken the challenge to ensure this go round and all around and all around. We have been doing this and then we'll continue to do this. All right, let's get back to class. Thank you. So now we are done with what? Our grouping. So the next thing we want to do is the playlist for the Tech Mastery series is also there. In case if you have received email concerning the Tech Mastery series, the playlist is there. So once you click, or once you just go to your YouTube, just click on playlist. You will see the Tech Mastery series playlist there. Is there as well, and then you'll be able to pick the content, the video content, one after the other. All right. Can you repeat the grouping, sir? Okay. All right. Let's take it one. Let me just quickly do that. Let's see. All right. Now, this is my, what's it called now? Appended table. This is my appended table, right? So after I've appended my table, I realized that I needed to summarize the table because under this category, there are some repeated stuffs there. And then we want to see, since we are dealing also with money amount here, we want to see the total amount that is allotted or that was spent by each category. The total amount that is what spent by each category. And we can only achieve that by what? Summarization. All right, that summarization is what we call group by in Power BI. All right. All right, how do we edit our work on this new table in case update is to be made after applying the changes and closing? So when you have clicked on change and apply, and then you need to add another edit or whatever, just go back to transform your data. It will come back to this place, and then you click the table you want to work on, and then you are back there. All right. I think our attendance has been shared already. Our attendance has been shared already. Already, I was thinking we're not going to go for break, but just so that some of us don't miss out on the attendance, maybe we can just do this in the next maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I will just stay on the call. I won't leave. Let's just do 2 to 3 minutes, and then we can come back to the class. So by 9 9:51, 52 thereabout. Sorry, that just said 9:51. 8:51, 52. 8:51, 52 thereabout. Please, let's get back to class. So please, you might quickly want to take your attendance now. So let's have a 3 minute countdown. All right, now we're back. So let's continue. Thank you, AY Prime. All right, let's continue. So let me quickly run through the group by again. So since What we want to use for our group by is based on what? The category. So just click on it, group by category, and then it's already, if it is not by category, you can select it here. Now, what do you want to group it by? Is it by names? If you want to say, for instance, again, let's check. If we want to see the total, what's it called now? If probably there are names that are repeated here as well, let's see the name, the total sales or the total amount that is accorded by each name, each person. So we put what? Total amount, right? That's all, total amount by amount, and click OK. Now look at it. Can you see this is another one I just did now? So that means we have only unique 16 names in that table. Those 16 names accumulated into all the total money that was incurred. Just that 16 people. Did you understand now? So this is names. What we did earlier was category. So I only did this so that I can show for those of us that said they probably didn't pick it the first time. So now that is the concept of group by. The next thing we want to do is the merging of tables. Pay attention, guys. Now that we are done with this, we can just come to our close and apply so that every update can be saved. So that every update can be saved. All right, so it's creating club sites, load. Now we're good. All right. So let's see. Good. Can you see it now? All right, so let's go. Now the next thing we want to do is merging of tables. Let's go back to our get data. I think we still have a data that we can use there. I think it's still test and CSV. So let's now go to what? Merge queries. Open. Okay, so this one is maybe Excel. Sorry, I probably was supposed to be checking that table because there are quite a lot. So I don't check them until I need them. All right, so this is merge. So this is what? Excel table. So let me pick the first table, open it. Why is this fly disturbing me? Okay. So let's load it. Just load it straight. Load it straight. Then pick the second table there. So let's pick the second. Personal. Then you see the table we have. Okay. And then let's load this data as well. So now we now have two new tables added to our what? Our tables. So we have general data and then personal data. Now, if you come to your table here and you click on general table, you can see what is on it. Look at it. Email address, surname, first name, title, middle name, middle initials, street, city, zip code, telephone number, mail, DOB, last checkup, and all of these other ones. You know, now by this, we are supposed to clean this off, right? So, but that's not our focus for this session. So, if in case you want to do that, you can just, you know what to do, right? So, let me see personal data. Now, under personal data, are there informations? Okay, look at this. Personal data seems to be more personal to individual that is not included in the general data. So these are individual data that is not revealing. But did you notice that the same people that are in the general data are the ones also in personal data? How do I know? When I look at the general data, look at the email address I have, gabrielgo@gastro.com. And then I have the surname and first name here, but I don't have the surname and first name under the personal data. Why? Because there's something they are trying to hide for us so that they don't reveal the identity of these people. However, is there something that we can use to show that it's the same people? Yes. So, for instance, now, if under this personal data now, I want to merge, or probably on the, what's it called now, on the general data, I need some more information from the general data or from the personal data. I want to bring it to the general data. Say, for instance, on the general data, I have just email address, I have surname, first name, title, middle initial, street, city. So if I need some basic information like, let's say, the blood type, the occupation, I just need the blood type, the occupation, and maybe this is credit card type, credit card expires, these are personal issues. But then let's get this blood type, weight, height, and the occupation, these four things. Can we get these four things from this table and bring it to this table? Are you following me? Yes, now, if the data has been truncated, it's because you have a large data that is above 1,000, so it will truncate it. That's why it's truncating your data. Yes, Olusegun Adeleke, yes. There's see also one section about generative AI. This is a digital transformation and digital economy. That's by David Akonji. As a generative AI, there's one by Oluwole Olajide, there's one by Esther Ajayi and Iyanu, there's one by Kola Oyeneyin. I think about four of them thereabout. So those are your Tech Mastery series. So yes, let's continue. These guys are following. Now, let me get back to my general data. It is on the general data that I want to do this. So what do I do? I've told you, anytime you want to do something on your data, what do? You take your data back to your what? To the query site. And that is why you have your what? Query editor. Always, don't forget, you cannot do so much while you are out of that query editor. But then for everything you need to do about your ETL or EDA, as the case may be, all right, you will do them there. All right, so let me click on the general data again. So everything I was looking at that time, can you see them here now? So now what I want to do is this. There are some values I need from the personal data that I want to bring in here. So what do? I'll go to my home, then come to combine again. Can you see merge queries? So merge queries also have the two functionalities. You can merge query on a table. So if I want to add them to this general data, I can add it to this general data. And if I want to merge it as new, I can merge it as new. So let me merge it as new. Then now, look at what I have here. It's a general data, right? And here is asking for the second data that I want to merge with. Please pay attention. Now, when you are merging, you remember I told you that merging again is also the concept of VLOOKUP in Excel. Do you remember? Merging in Excel is a concept of what? VLOOKUP in Excel. So what it means is this. Just a minute. So what it means is there must be a column on the two tables that are the same, similar. If not, you will not be able to merge. You are saying that this column, look for it on the other table. Anything that looks like each of the rows in that column, get this for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like on the general data, look for the email address Bailey Glover on the personal data. Once you find the email address, get the occupation, get the blood group, get the weight, and get the height for me. That is what we are trying to do. Do you understand now? So that is so now I'm going to pick my other table. This is general data. Then I'll pick the second table, which is personal data. Now I have the two tables here. Listen, from what I explained earlier, I don't know why I saw your question, but so that I don't get distracted and come back to it. For what I explained earlier, what do you think is going to be our common factor for this merging of data? Somebody at the comment section. Thank you, Kendi. Your question, I like Kendi is really, really following me, like he's pursuing me seriously. So once you identify that, just click on it. Can you see? Once you click on it, look at this place. It says select the same number of columns from both visible tables to continue. If I click occupation here, it will say, okay, the selection matches 0 to 1000. And do you see? So that means it will scatter the table to get more. But if I select email address, look at this. The selection matches 1106 of 1106 rows from the what? From the first table. So which means this is what I need to do. And now when I pick this, I just click what? Okay. And since I said they should create a new merge, now my new table is ready. So I can rename this as, can somebody give me a name that I can give this now? What name do you think you can give this? Since nobody is typing. All right. So I have it as what? Merge data. All right. So now that I have merge data now, let me click OK. And then let's go and look at the end of our table. Let's see what we have. Now, let me remove all these columns that are empty. So I have removed those columns that are empty. All right. So now look at what I have. This class will soon end, so I might not be able to go back because so that we can, because after tonight we are going to something entirely different. And wherever I'm able to stop tonight is where I'm going to stop. So if I, because of going back, I am not able to probably go further, that's where we're going to stop. Okay. So now, did you see personal and then he's saying table? Did you notice that? Now, what he's telling me is that now I have a merge table here, but from that table, I need a few columns from it. I don't need the entire table, right? So what I will do is this. Did you see this arrow here at the right corner here? This arrow, just click on it. It will do a drop down for you to say this is all what is in that table. I will now deselect all since I don't want all. Now help me select the ones that you want to see in your new merge table. One, I want to see occupation. Two, I want to see blood type. Three, I want to see weight. And lastly, I want to see height. Then I click OK. Now look at what I have. So it has merged all those four columns to the existing users on the table. Now you can rearrange this. You can take personal occupation to come and maybe to the front, as the case may be, whatever you want to do. Does this make sense? Wow, yes, I am at Julius. That's what happens. It looks like magic, right? Sometimes it look like magic. When you try it for yourself, you will understand. Let me give us 1 or 2 minutes thereabouts so that people can catch up for those that really need to do. And if there are any questions, just drop it at the comment section. Let me see it. Because we are going to the next thing now, after now. Rewatching is allowed. Don't stop. Thank you. Motivation. All right, now. So, okay, I wanted to do something. I thought of something the other time. And I think I will just do it for the sake of those that are currently watching this class live. Um, all right. My community manager, please, can you comment on YouTube? Let me be sure you are there because I want to share something with you. I want to quickly explain the concept. I want to quickly explain the concept. So my community manager will share something with you guys on the YouTube. He will share it on the YouTube. And just for the sake of those of us that are on this call, I want to use this to explain the concept. Because the next thing we want to do is modeling. The next thing we want to do is modeling. And I will explain what modeling is. We'll use so just to the YouTube page alone, not to the general group. Only those who are watching this class live will have access to this. So if you are in the class live, you will have access to this. All right. So now, so modeling, what is modeling? When you come to your Power BI, now since we are done with this, I can also do close and apply, right? Okay. Femi, please hold on. When I need it, I will ask you to post it so that people can get it and then it will not mix up with other messages. Just hold on. All right. So now, did you see these four buttons that are here? Your report view, your table view, your model view, and then your DAX. When you click on this model view, let's look at what we have here. Under my model view, did you notice something? All the table, out of all the table, only one table looks like there is an existing relationship between them. This is personal and merge data. And do you know the reason? The reason is because there is a relationship. You remember that it was from that personal data that we created the merge data and also the general data. Can you see now? There's also a relationship between them. Now, listen, this is what happens. When you are talking about modeling, you are saying that what is the existing relationship between entities and how does table talk to each other? Let me give you an example. Now, each and every one of us in this class will represent an entity, right? So, say for instance now, let me look at someone's name here. If Ajeoluwa Oni went to the supermarket, and when she gets to the supermarket, she picks some items. Part of the items Ajeoluwa pick is Pepsi, burger, and then bread. All right. Now, you will notice something. In the supermarket, there is an order. Say for instance, that is a sales. In the sales, we are going to have what we call sales ID. All right. And Adeoluwa now has her own table also, which is name ID. Please pay careful attention. If you are not following me, you will not understand. So I need to first explain before I practicalize the concept. Do you understand? Now, Adeoluwa here is a person who has a name ID, which is our own unique identifier. We assume that no other person can have the same identifier with Adeoluwa. There in the supermarket, there is Pepsi, there is bread, and there is so many other things they are selling. But Adeoluwa only decided to pick just Pepsi, bread, and burger. Just before she left the supermarket, someone else came in and picked Pepsi, cream, and soap in the same supermarket. Are you following me? Now, don't forget, Pepsi is an item in the what? Supermarket. Every item have their own. Okay, Femi already shared that. Please, for that information Femi shared, thank you, Femi, you already shared it. So the information is shared. You might just want to keep it for now until I get to where I'm going to be needing it. So now, Adeoluwa already picked her own items. So let me look for another person's name. Chima also go to the supermarket and then begin to pick some other items. Don't forget, each item in the supermarket also have their own unique name. But in the supermarket, we cannot have just one Pepsi now. So we can have as many Pepsi as we have. But Chima is just one entity, cannot be duplicated. Same with Adeoluwa, she's also one person, right? So once they get to the supermarket, they pick just that item and then they leave. They make payment, of course, and leave. Now, this is a relationship. The relationship that exists between the two of them is that Adeoluwa is picking one out of the many items that is in the store, because another person can come and pick the same item. Of course, when I mean the same item, it's not the same one in Adeoluwa's hand. So that means the item is many. So someone can come and pick. That kind of cardinality is what we call one-to-many relationship. So that means one person or different person like this. Now, one person picks just one item in the supermarket, another person can come and pick the same item. We are still talking about the same item because when you are taking the stock of this same item, it is just one. Do you know when you are scanning to buy, what did they scan for? The product code, right? So when you scan for that product code is what the system checks and then give you the price. So it doesn't give you another price. So that is the same thing we are saying. So if 1,000 people came or comes to that facility or to that supermarket, they will pay the same price for that product except it is being reviewed. All right. So that is what we talked about, what one to many relationship. If also If also we now have the reverse, how do I explain it now? Yes, I think I get this now. When an organization is hiring, many people will apply, but at the end of the day, maybe they just select one. In that organization, there are many employers, right? Employees rather, working in the organization. So by the time they get to pick one person, so many people working on the same project, but they are bringing just one person in. So many in one, so many to one. I'm trying to use for the best, to look for the best example for that. But just try and follow me. Now, let's go and did you see the credentials I was shared? The credentials I will share with you. Now, this is a server, a server credential. This server credential, I got it from one of my classes, so that's why I'm sharing with you guys. Right? So these server credentials, we want to extract data from it. Is a server. So in case you are not able to log into it, well, maybe you can try it at another time. You know, it's a server, it's a cloud. So when people are trying to enter it at many times, as much as they possible. Oh, Charles Chidiogo, primary key and foreign key. That is the exact thing I'm trying to explain, the concept. I'm coming back to it. So I wanted to log in before I now call the name, primary key and then foreign key. Exactly. That is what I'm just talking about. It's not like, it's just the exact. All right. So now let's get to what we want to do with these credentials. Please pay attention so that you don't miss this out for any reason. Entity relationship. Now I'm seeing some computer science students here. All right, let's get to get your data. Now, under your get your data, here this time around, you are not getting Excel data, neither are you getting CSV data. You want to get data from another source. You remember when we started this class, I said there are different data sources that you can actually pick from. All right, so let's try to extract data from SQL Server. You know, there's another one, but I'm not sure we can do that in this class. That is Google Sheet and all of that. You can just give it a try. If we have time, maybe I can show us, but then we might not. So I've picked my SQL Server, and then it's asking me, now listen, it's asking me for the server name, then the database. Now, from the credential that I was sharing with you guys, let me also pull up my own. The server name, you see that 206, whatever. That is your server name. All right. Now, the database, which is also optional, can you see the database name? Jare Academy. So just copy that. Now listen carefully. This is another part where exams, Microsoft can test our knowledge as students in exam hall. There are two options under data connectivity mode. Actually, there are three, but here we're talking about two. So maybe at the advanced options, they will put the third one, which is dual. All right. So, but then let's leave it at the two, which is what? Import and direct query. Let me explain the two concepts. When you are picking or selecting import, what you are saying is this: immediately the server connects, or immediately you connect to the server to access the data. Immediately you access the data, bring it from the cloud and come and what? Import it in my environment. Are you getting what I'm saying? Pay attention, guys. Import it from the server, from the cloud, and come and put it on my environment. That is what import data. That is why when you see you are working on Excel, what happens is this: you are importing the data because you remember I told you when your data gets to your environment, it becomes independent of the data source. You remember I said that. So that is what what's it called now? Import does. Now, direct query. What direct query? Oh, amazing. Thank you, Akindeji Gbemiga. Fantastic. Many students to a teacher. That is many to one. 100%. 100%. Fantastic. All right. So now, direct query is saying that you want to make use of the data in the cloud. I don't want to bring it to my environment at all. Listen, there are pros and cons to both sides. If you are bringing your data, importing your data to your model, to your table, what it will do for you is that it will increase the size of the model. All right, it will increase the size of the model. Please pay attention. I might not repeat this process because we have few minutes to go in this class. I might not repeat this process, so just pick the video and then you watch, please. Now, so once you import the data, it increases the size of the model, and by implication it affects the model. The performance of the model can become affected, right? That is performance. Direct query on the other side, it doesn't have any impact. As a matter of fact, you're not bringing anything to the environment, so that means your model is free and then you have good space. But then you remember that when you are importing your data, that is when you can do so many ETL. But while you are working with direct query, you will not be able to perform any ETL. You can only make reference to those tables, but not even preview them. I hope that is clear. So because of my time, let me quickly go. So now I want to import it because I want it to be in my environment. Some of you can use query, direct query. So I'm clicking import, 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 import. Let's see what happens. So in case you are trying to import it, oh, fantastic. It has connected. Fantastic. Let me see how many people have been able to connect. How many people have been able to connect? All right, so for some of you, it will ask you for some other credentials. You will see something like Windows or Workspace or something. That's where you will see, you now pick your, what's it called now, data set or personal data. It will now ask you for your username and password. The username and password is part of what I shared already. The username is student and the password is what you have there. Why is your Power BI always slow to load? It is because of the configuration of the system you have. My configuration, the system I'm using quite differ from your system, all right? Because of what I do, so I have to definitely get a larger configuration of system so that in class like this, if you don't want us to stay on just one thing throughout the end of the training, all right? I'm still waiting. Oh, fantastic. Omoto Shobukola have been able to. Great job. Good, fantastic. Yes, it asked for my credentials. Emmanuel, what was he asking for? Did you see some column by the left saying that Windows, immediately after Windows, there's another one again? What's the name now? To tell you that, is it personal data set or something? So you need to click that and then you now put the credentials. The credentials, you now put your username and password. And for those of us that paid attention during our SQL class, this should also be a walkover for you because you have something close or related like this that you have done. Yes, for current, for password and username. Connected, Oluwase Ilajori, fantastic. Under database, so under your database, put your username and your password. There is Windows database and Microsoft account. No, so select database. The Windows is organizational. If you are working with an organization now, so the Windows will ask you that this is the organization credentials. But since we are not working with organization credential, we are only working with a particular database. So select database. All right, fantastic. David Grace is also connected. The server not was not found. It's either you made a mistake in copying the identity credentials, maybe you missed out on something, you can try it again. And then the fact that one or two persons are able to connect actually shows that it's working well. Imported, fine. Fantastic. Connected, fine. Fine. All right. So just before we wrap up tonight, obviously this is where we're going to be stopping tonight because I will actually leave us with an assignment on this. I will actually leave us with an assignment. So just pay attention. If you are not able to import tonight, you have the credentials with you. You can check it later on. So I'll just bring in some of these tables. I have actor, I have certificate, I have country, I have director. For the sake of what we are learning, I have film, I have genre, I have language, and then I think I have studio. Now, what I have here is about maybe one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 tables. I have brought in 8 tables, and then let me load the 8 tables directly. Now, listen, if you notice at this side, what I have is already getting more and more. The more I have it, the bigger the size of my model. The bigger the size of my model. And I'm keeping all of this because of class. It's a classwork. See, can you see? Can you see how big, how plenty it is now? Maybe some of you do not have up to what I have. It might take time to load, except you are probably using a very, very good system, like probably what I'm using. So it might take some time to load. What do you mean by your current credentials, or what do you mean by alternate credentials? Okay. Now, we have been able to load this. Should we call it a night? Yeah. Okay, let me quickly explain this. Since I was already explaining it the other time, so that I won't have to come back to this again. Yes. Jerry. Jerry is one of the things we brought in. Can you see? Each table has its own unique identity. The unique identity for each table is what we call the primary key. Like I said the other time, every user that goes into the supermarket to pick an item, they have their what? Their own user ID. And every product in the supermarket have their own product ID. So one person picking the same product and then many people coming to print the same product is one too many. Somebody gave us a very good update the other time. That was Oladeji said teacher to student is an example of many to one. You know what that means? A teacher is standing to teach how many students? Many students. So from student to teacher is an example of what? Many to one relationship. First, what we looked at is one to many relation. That is the cardinality. All right. We also now have one to one relationship, and then we now have first we have is one to many. Second, we have is many to one. Third, we have is what? Many to many. And the last one we now have is what? One to one. I hope I didn't miss anyone out. Let me say it again. The four cardinality we have is one, many to one. The number two is one to many. Number three is one to one. And number four is many to many. So those are the four cardinality that we have. So quickly, look at this Jerry. Jerry has Jerry ID. Then Film also have his own unique ID, which is what? Film ID. So all this table ID is what we call the primary key. Now, looking at a country ID under film ID and then director ID under film ID is showing us that there is something connecting to another table, which is a country table. All right. Now, look at this director ID or country ID. For director table, do we have a table that has that? Okay, look at this director table. For director table, my primary key here is what? Director ID, right? But under the film table, director ID here is what? Is now my foreign key. Do you understand? Is now my foreign key because that is leveraging on another table. All right. I'm wrapping up already so that maybe at the next class we'll continue because I know we are past time already. So, but then take note of this concept. You can just check all the tables. Maybe what I will do is very quickly when we start the next class, I will quickly talk about this model relationship, show us some example, and then we'll continue from there. Let's stop here because it's past 9:30 already. We're supposed to stop 9:30 tonight. All right. If you are getting error, please pick the video again and watch. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I know it's been a wonderful day. Please pick the video again if in case you need any clarity. And then before we come to the next class, let's be sure we are all aligned. Thank you so much and let's have a wonderful weekend. Yes, let's enjoy our long break as it were. See you in class on Monday.